Hi Taurus, this is your romantic love reading for October 2017. Thank you so much if you're a returning watcher, subscriber, if you've liked and commented. And also thank you so much to those of you who are new. I just started this channel. I've been doing readings for a while, and you can go ahead and check out the general reading for Taurus to get more of an idea about me and how I do readings. And I'm just going to go ahead and start shuffling. I've shuffled already in Palo Santo. My apologies for getting to Taurus last. I have tried to do the Taurus video 3 times, and for some reason it just kept not working. So I took a bit of a breather and a break, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to step away from this. And this is eventually you get a little frustrated. So I don't like to be frustrated when I'm doing a reading. So I luckily was able to. So I'm hoping this video goes through, because that'll be the 4th time. So as you know, if you like, please hit the like button. Also subscribe, and yeah, if you want a private reading, the information is there below. There's usually a 2-day turnaround, so definitely get in contact with me. So Taurus, since this is your love reading that I'm doing right now, and we're reaching towards the end, and after the new moon has just come in, we're reaching the end of October, now going into November. This reading will obviously stretch from here into onwards in that time frame. Now, a lot of you are going through transitions of going into deeper relationships or deciding to leave an old lifestyle behind. And so you've met a particular someone, and you're starting to realize, okay, well, I need to, and this has been in the back of your mind for a while, like and this is for some of you, obviously, but you already have this feeling like, this is a new phase of my life, I'm ready for this. And so you've had different options, and you've been scared because of past hurts. So the past hurt, I think there might be some blockages around the heart chakra. Since I was able to do the general reading 3 times, the similar things kept coming up again and again, so I know for sure. And I did a couple of private readings too early on in the month, and so there is a certain energy with some of the Tauruses that I've interacted with. So there's that, and then there's some of you who have been dealing with just kind of game playing with someone, or you're playing games with someone in the dating arena or in an actual relationship. There's also some weighing of the scales here of feeling very like someone's putting in more of the work than the other. So there's that type of an imbalance, but communication is definitely the key holder to that problem. So and those of you who are scared from past breakups, well, let's see what these cards say. If they even discuss it, or if we go into a totally different gateway of information. Oh, my Dia blew out. The AC on. I think some of you are dealing with a Capricorn, maybe, because either that or some passion, or some not too fancy, because Devil's been very common in your reading. Well, that's okay. Okay, let's take a look here. Yep. All right. So similar things. So some of you have interacted with somebody who holds a kind of, it could be any type of figure on the new moon, before or after the new moon. Excuse me. There was some realizations of things about someone with this type of high priestess energy has entered your life or is about to enter your life. Or this could resemble what you've grown into from the past heartaches that you've had. So what I'm seeing here with the Five of Pentacles is not so much being left out in the cold as that emotion of being left out in the cold. Even these are pentacles, but I feel like there's a energy that's still flowing from other heartbreaks, and it's colliding into what you're seeing and what you want. So I think your mind is actually the devil's playground here, or the games that I was talking about, or there is a Capricorn and you've been working very hard, and you're irritated by it because he is looking at that card going, you know what, I'm so sick of you. Like, I've been working so hard, and like you just get on my nerves. Like, you can tell he's like, you know, looking at him just kind of like, I'm not here, let me do it that way. Yeah, so he's not really content with that situation, really. So and he knows that, like, these games or whatever it is that's happening, that's some of this also says at the juncture of Halloween for some reason. I don't mean to make the devil the symbol of Halloween, but Halloween just came up for some of you. In that case, you know, have fun playing games. Nice games, though. Fun games. But yeah, those of you who are in a relationship, or those of you who have been pursuing someone, you're starting to get a little bit resentful, I think, of the amount of work you've been putting in. And jumping back to the front, if you are in a relationship, what this could be indicating with the High Priestess is that you're coming from just a very intuitive state of knowing what's to come. Like, you know, having that strong feeling, or the letters B and J could have some connection. But I feel like this is more of an entrance of a certain energy for some of you. So it could be a person, or it could just be for some, maybe a person of interest who holds that type of presence. But as we move down from, if we jump back in, you know, if you're in a relationship and you're moving into the Five of Pentacles here, then what I'm seeing is just that your situation of having whatever it is, that either it's some of you are putting in too much work, or some of you are frustrated with the silliness or the little mind games, like, oh, I called you 5 minutes ago, oh, let me wait 5 minutes before I call him, oh, I don't want him to think I'm eager, or he's doing this, so I'm going to do that. You know, he went out, so I'm going to pretend I'm out by playing music in the background. I mean, people do these little things where you're like, really? You're just at home watching Netflix, or you watching Hulu, for that matter. So it's okay, be honest. That's how you create a real relationship. And if you don't, that's because it wasn't meant to be one. You know, that continues. So, and that's okay. There are plenty of people in the world. There are plenty of people. So, and that's kind of the energy that some of you singles have gone into. And the bottom of the deck here is, bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands. So when I saw this, I mean, I knew, like, okay, this is definitely, some of you are waiting for not just your ships to come in, but you're kind of at a point now where you're like, all right, I've dragged this on long enough, and I'm waiting now. When will this come in? When is this happening? I've put in so much work in my social life. I'm done with my, you know, messing around kind of past. And in the past, yes, I've been out in the cold, but, you know, this recent realization, it's helping me realize, you know, I don't want to put all this work in if I'm in a relationship, or, you know, it's jumping into these different situations, right? So if you're going into the same scenario, the single person, you're going Nine of Wands and then into the Pentacles, where I see someone with a young energy is coming to you with an offering. So it could be you putting in that offering, but then next to it we have Wands. And Wands go okay with Pentacles. And you have two here and you have two here, so you kind of And then we have one of cups and one swords. So not too much emotion is at the forefront of your month, but there is a lot of hard work. There is a lot of coming from realization. There is a lot of some of you feeling out in the cold, feeling left out, feeling the pain from past hurts, lingering behind you. It's kind of like, instead in this situation, what I'm seeing is kind of your shadow piece, your past hurts. Like, he's all beaten up all over the place, so he's unbroken. So it's like all of your heartbreaks in this person, or it's like that ghost of it is haunting you and rocking, and you're like, no, leave me alone. And it's gone. It's over. Like, that's all in the past. And you're still holding guard because you're like, no, I will not move, because you know what? I feel like evil exists. Some of you are feeling that fear. No, you're fine. You're fine. You're okay. But you move out of that, and then you come into this offering. So those of you in the relationship situation, perhaps one of you will offer some sort of a reconciliation, or you offer the gift of communication. You communicate. So one of you might do that, and it's about putting work in. But you see, work in a relationship shouldn't always feel like a chore or work. It can feel that way. But the hope is that you're in a relationship where it doesn't feel like you're going to work every day, but rather you're just in your passion and you're living that. So it kind of spreads into all parts of your life. It's not just this portion of your life. But there is work being put in. There could be a water sign or someone with water in their chart. I'm seeing that with the Knight of Swords coming at the King of Cups, I feel like there's been this steadiness, and right now it's like this situation here, an air sign, or I don't like going into signs so much, but for this reading, it actually is speaking to me in that way. So the way that this Knight is coming here towards this very calm, astute looking King of Cups, like someone who knows what's up. He knows, like, okay. And here's this Knight who's like, I'm ready, and coming full speed ahead. So I think that some of you are about to like get into a place of really just sitting and owning your situation and kind of owning that king or queen like presence. I mean, this is a king, so we're talking about masculine energy. So for women, this is part of you kind of delving into that energy, because we all carry the masculine and the feminine in our energy. So this could be representing your significant other or the person of interest, your person. And let's just go ahead and pull some cards, because it looks like, yeah, let's see what else we can find out here. And I'm praying and hoping that this is recording. It works. The recording hasn't been hard, it's the uploading. So, yeah. Yeah, some of you have dealt with some really hard stuff in the past. I'm sorry about that. I can see, like, it's just been, physically you can even feel the pain. But you know, your head was in the clouds, you were younger, it was a different time. It's like surrounding you, it's all this blue and yellow, and it's just this part right here. This jumped out. Okay. So I'm just going to put that there because, well, maybe here, because this makes more sense for me. Well, not for me, for you, and for me as I'm doing this reading. Okay. Okay. Alright, so the bottom of this deck was the Priestess. So this happens a lot. I get double readings. Double your pleasure, double your fun. So definitely you're sparking from this type of energy right now. And when I got the Moon card, I was like, well, I can see something more now. Some of you have been dealing with, I see 2 towers in this card that have caught my eye, and I see 2 people facing off. I see hands clasped, and I see almost begging for mercy. So the situation some of you are coming from, you've literally probably put your head down or bowed down to the person in the past that you last gave your heart to. So it kind of feels like, I don't know if I want to do this again. So there's always been this hold back. But a lot of you, and there's sorrow there, like you're remembering this, because I think some of you are about to enter a commitment, or you're afraid of the commitment, but it is going to manifest. It looks like it's kind of going to happen. So, you know, what was it, on the other deck, underneath the waiting card, you ready for it? You ready? Ta-da! Yeah, so, yeah. We have the sorrow here, so it's 3 of Swords, and you know, I think that's where some of the sword energy is probably in the background. So there might be some words and thoughts that you're having that are not really necessary or valid anymore. And some of you feel a sorrow because you and your mate, you've been putting in so much work to keep the relationship together, and now you're just like, I'm going to give this like one more shot, or perhaps they're offering this time. I hope so, if you've been putting a lot of work. And then those of you who are still very single and no sight of anybody, I feel like there might be some of you in that situation. I think you are reflecting on your past relationships. I mean, that is something that I think there is a reflection happening here, going back into old way of thinking and kind of knee-jerk reactions from previous relationships, how you would react. So I think that's something that's very common in the thread of even a single person, because even with your interactions with other people, if you've been wounded by something in a previous relationship, chances are when something similar comes along, your knee-jerk reaction is going to be like, I don't want to do this, like, or you'll be like, oh no, this hurt me before. I mean, that's a normal reaction. However, it's not normal after, there's no such thing as normal. So let's just put it that way. Normal is a setting on a washing machine. That's about all that you're going to find. That's that saying, right? So we have oppression here, 10 of Wands, and we have 9 of Wands here. So there's definitely this feeling of maybe you're not communicating and you're hoping that someone will just realize through your actions, but you gotta go out. You do have the 2 of Cups here next to the Page of Pentacles for clarification. We have the 10 of Wands here as well. So I did put 10 of Wands here. Cards do repeat. So it could be that those of you who are putting in the work, you're going back to putting in more work. And if it's an air sign that you're dealing with, perhaps they're getting their head together. Because then we have the Works card, because it's 3 of Pentacles. So what that says for me is just that, you know, and the direction that he's running in, it says to me that, you know, this person's going to try and push the tides where they need, so it flows a little better here. So 10 of Wands twice. 10 of Wands I felt was more necessary to clarify the 9 of Wands, because, well, this I feel is about a different person. So if you are single, this is about you and another person. This is the Love card, so either you will be, through this new offering, through this new beginning or a new chapter turning, or through, you know, this communication that you're going to have. We have the clarification of the 2 of Cups, which, you know, means that this could be a younger person who's coming into your life, and then we have a symbol here of you kind of going into the same, like, I'm going to do everything. Or it could be the other way around. It could be that this person's going to be putting in the work. But you see, here I feel the oppression makes more sense because you're not in that state right now. That's not what I intuitively feel for you. I don't feel that you're in that same place, but you're going into that same place because some of you are, this is happening. So then we got the Trumps card for art, following in to clarify from the Ten of Wands to the King of Cups. So immediately some of me said, some of you need to do some artwork, some of you need to delve inwards, but I think maybe you need to go and look at some artwork perhaps. Also look at the thoughts that you've been feeding and maybe take a moment to do some meditation because something's coming at you full speed ahead here. So it's something that has been in the works for some time, and this person's coming back, so it feels like it's kind of somebody returning or coming full speed from the past, or you're coming at this person like, I'm ready, and like, I figured it out. And with the art card, I feel like you're coming into the beauty of your developmental stage. Wherever you are in your life right now, that's what you're coming into, and so that is causing you to reflect on past pains, and there might be actions with your partner that are making you feel this way, or there might be people around you if you're single that are reminding you of this. And love is on its way. It is going to be what it should feel like a labor of love, not like even labor. For me, it's supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be so hard. Things are hard beginning, I think, when you're trying to get the relationship going, and but once you're in it, then you deal with other things. But the work is really your work that you're doing. It's not working on the other person or doing the personal work for the other person. Then you're entering into a codependent like relationship, and that's never healthy. So you want to be able to do your own work, and when that work comes up, that can feel like work. Okay, so for some of you, this is personal work, and one way of doing that personal work is turning to the arts. Simple as that. Painting, drawing, writing, photography, whatever floats your boat, go and do it. Maybe go on a boat. There's water right here. Apparently you are very calm with it. So and that's another thing. Like, there's a red ship in the past over here, so that makes me feel like you're taking on some more of a water energy, and you will come to, as the month progresses, you will like move forward and leave behind the rest of this stuff, and know that it's in the past. And right when you do that, everything changes. Like, boom, everything just changes. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick one card from the Osho Zen, and then a couple of advice cards. So obviously we can go much deeper. If you want to know more, if this resonated with you, please hit the like button. Please subscribe, and if you would like a private reading, the information is below. And let's just see if there's any little end notes that we can put here. Maybe a little bit more about this Knight of Swords and King of Cups. Ooh. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. You never know what a Taurus is really thinking, is what I feel, but then you kind of do know. But do they know you know what they know? All right, comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, Winston Churchill. So I think some of you are comparing maybe past lovers, past relationships with the relationships you're in. Some of you are comparing your past situation and wondering, do I want to jump into a relationship? Some of you are coming across new individuals, new people, and you're wondering, should I just still date around, or is, it's time? I'm starting to feel that, starting to progress into that place. I've worked really hard. Some of you have worked really hard in a relationship and are like, really though? Are you going to do anything? And I remember so-and-so, or so-and-so, husband does this, and blah, 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 and that, his wife does that, or, whatever comparison you're doing, don't do it. It's not helpful. It doesn't work. And the one thing you have to remember too, and it comes up when I'm looking at this image here, bamboo is something that can bend easily if you work with it, right? You can move it around, you can put in the, work with it and the sun, and it's bendable. And wood here, let's say this is an oak tree. Once it's risen, you can only just chop it off. It's really, you can carve something into it, but you can't bend it. You can't bend that trunk. It's solid. It's there. So for some of you who are doing comparisons, it could be that, some people are already set in who they are, and if they don't want to change, you can't make them change. You can only change yourself, and you can only change your perspective, and you can only change how you decide to handle the situation. That's what you have in your control. You see, the tree, yes, I'm not saying to just say no one will ever change. People do change, but only if they want to. I know people want to think it's because they love somebody so much. Yeah, that's part of it, but it's also because they have to want to do that. So to try and change, if you have parents or grandparents, or old folks, or you are an old folk and you know another old folk, and sorry if that's offensive if I said old folk, but some people look at me and call me an old folk if they're from, I'm not going to say what grade, but they think I'm old. So, anyway, I'm going to get off that topic. And we have what I was saying about comparison. You can't even compare ages, okay? But you can compare the fact, what the comparison can tell you if you do compare is what that person is about and what you are about and what you have to work with. And then you can go from there. However, just let go of the idea that you can change someone. By changing yourself, you automatically help change others. And I always say I want to be the shoot of bamboo. Being the tree is what we're solidly, a lot of us are, we're that solid tree. And once we grow into who we are, you can chop the limbs off and the branches off, but to get that post done, you're going to have to chop me down. But bamboo is like, okay, well, push me a little this way, and like, okay, I'll move this way. You want the sun, that sun's pointing this direction? Okay, and now, okay, you're going to move me this way. I'm going to keep this here. Okay. So it could, it does remind me too of the masculine and the feminine. Women are more flexible in many ways, but we are easy. We bend a great deal, and if you're a man that loves women, or if you're a woman that loves women, you know that women are very mothers, daughters, sisters, nieces, cousins. The roles that women play, they're constantly bending into those roles. And men do this as well. However, women really go in for it, and they've always been the one to kind of, it seems that they aren't, but a good lot of them are the bamboo. And either way, if you're a man that is easily bendable and is the bamboo for life, that's awesome. Like, I want to be bamboo for life because I want to be able to bend. But I know once you start to get old, you're solid. That's a good thing too. You stand strong in what you believe in, and that's it. And sometimes that's refreshing for others. Anyway, 2 advice cards, and I'm going to close up this reading and pray that it goes and processes properly. Oh, that was okay. And if you're new, I do use humor. I just joke around a little bit. If that was bothersome to any of you, my apologies. I think humor is actually like the best thing ever, so I try and sprinkle it wherever I go, on top of whatever I do. So when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through lens of love. I think I fixed the mirror, right? Did I? Or am I just showing you backwards? Nope, it's working. All right. My fearless freedom lights up the world. Yeah, you are free. You're not in your past anymore. That's over. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Ha! Knee-jerk reactions, triggers, the past. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Yeah? All right, Taurus, thank you so much for your patience. I really, really am praying that this goes through. And I look forward to doing your general reading and your next romantic love reading. If this resonated with you, as I mentioned before, hit the like button, subscribe, and thank you so much for coming by. Be good to you, be kind to you, so you can be good and kind to others. All right? Take care now. Bye.